So Air Canada has released select partner dynamic award charts, which had everybody scared, which had everybody apprehensive. So what I did was I put it to test. If you haven't checked out my post, I put that award chart to test. So go on to Points, Miles, and Bling, and you'll see some quick search results that I posted. So I'll give you what I found. First up, let's talk about United because that was the big one. We were like, holy shit, United is going dynamic on Air Canada. This is never good news. But I was impressed with what I saw right off the bat. Lots more United availability at that saver level. Not just close in, but I searched 3 months out, I searched 1 week out, I searched 6 months out, I searched a full year out, and there was plenty of United availability, especially in North America. But obviously, within North America, it was only showing economy cabin fares. I was not able to find anything in business class or United First, as they like to call it. But on the international routes, again, a lot of availability in Polaris routes as well, which was great. The other thing I found curious was for routes, say, Vancouver to New York, for example, where Air Canada and United both fly, Aeroplan was prioritizing Air Canada metal, and I did not see any United availability as much as I tried, especially on routes where both of them fly. So I think Air Canada metal is being prioritized on those, but United was presenting several Saver Awards. In fact, the direct routes from North America to, say, Middle East, particularly when I was comparing Etihad, Emirates, and whatnot, United Polaris showed so much availability at that 100K level from, say, a New York to a Dubai or a Boston to Dubai, whereas Emirates and Etihad were all listing 200,000, 250,000 plus on the same days. So great value to be had if you are a fan of the Polaris product. I have had mixed reviews of the Polaris. I'm not a big Polaris fan, but again, if the option was flying business class on Emirates for 250,000 points, aeroplane points, or 100,000 aeroplane points, I think I'll take Polaris 100,000 any day of the week, just purely in terms of value, unless I'm trying to explore a completely different product or experience a completely different product. So yeah, there was that. Etihad, as expected, was the worst hit. We saw them go from like the standard redemption values to completely Emirates aligned with Emirates. So everything from North America to the Middle East was showing 200 plus, 250 plus, and whatnot. So not great, but at least, like I said in my post, if you are a glass half full kind of person, then you're just happy to see Emirates availability um, back on Aeroplan. I wasn't able to find much 3 months out, 6 months out, or 12 months out with Etihad particularly. Sorry, maybe I said Emirates, but I was talking about Etihad. But I was able to consistently find Etihad availability within a week. So 7 to 10 days, more so within that day of departure to 7 days from departure. That's the window I was finding most of my long haul availability on Etihad if you had enough points to spare. As for Canadian regional partners, they still continue to be terrific value, maybe not as good a value as they were before it went dynamic. I'll give you an example. 2 days before the dynamic charts were about to come through, I booked Ottawa to Iqaluit, and I also checked Montreal to Iqaluit. All of those routes for the dates in September, weekends in September, were going for anywhere between 8,000 points to 9,600 points one way. Um, those same routes 2 days after, once the dynamic charts came through, were listed at 15,000. So almost doubled up. But if you check the value of that 15,000 points one way on that route against the cash value, still terrific value. So if you're just purely hunting for value, these are still terrific awards available on Aeroplan. But for those of you who are super used to 7,500 one way to Iqaluit or one way to Northern Territories, then you may be a little tad bit disappointed because they have doubled up. Uh, Alex says, I've done some checks and I've not noticed any greater United availability has any, especially in J. Alex, I think your comment will be aligned with my feedback or my experience as well, that if you're looking for J availability within North America, I wasn't able to find any. But if you were looking for United business class or United Polaris availability internationally, I was able to find plenty. Just so much available right now. So yeah, I was in fact able to find better rates on United from Western Canada and even San Francisco and LAX going into Australia. So 100,000 points in Polaris going into Australia, which is fantastic rates. So I was able to easily find availability on Polaris several sort of 3 months out, 6 months out to Australia. I was able to find stuff going into the Middle East. I was able to find United business class routes going to South America. So United had plenty of availability. It was just not available in J when I was searching for anything within North America. So maybe that's what you're pointing at, is that you weren't able to see much more availability, especially in J. So that was my sort of take from what is happening right now. But let's be honest, we just have to wait and see how these dynamic charts sort of evolve over time. Because remember when Emirates broke out with its own chart with Aeroplan, and things were readily available at that 180 mark or slightly 160, 150, 180 mark, and then now. A year or two later, we only ever see 225, 250,000 or more in that dynamic award chart. So again, just like anything, we just have to give it time and see how these dynamic award charts sort of pan out against that median value. But at the time of release, things were more or less aligned with what I was expecting, with the only pleasant surprise being United availability internationally across the board, not just close in, but across the year, availability was plenty. So yeah, we just have to wait and see what happens, especially what happens with some of these availabilities within North America once Canada, US travel goes back to its normal demand. So wait and watch is the word here.